3 things. Number 1, I am a mood reader. Surprise, surprise. Number 2, I don't always feel like mood readers should have TBRs, but it can be helpful in guiding us throughout our reading journeys for the month. Number 3, will I stick to this TBR? I think I will, for several reasons, and hear me out as to why that is. I believe in myself. I feel like I have what it takes this month to really knock these out the park. So some of them might look a little bit familiar if you follow me on Twitter and Instagram, which you should do that. So let's go ahead and attack this July TBR. The first book I'll discuss is a book that I'm already well into, the Hookup Plan. I obviously hauled this book in my last video. I am trying to do better at reading my arcs the month before they come out, or the month that they do come out. So the Hookup Plan comes out in August, so next month, and I really am loving it so far. So we follow London and Drew, and now that I've gotten into the story a bit more, I can give you more details about them. London is a doctor. She's in her residency right now at a county hospital. A lot of people in her medical program wanted to go to these really big, very prestigious med schools and hospitals to do their residency, but she felt this deep connection to county because she feels like a lot of people who go there don't get the kind of service and help that they need, and they're kind of just left for whatever. So she really believes in this hospital. Drew he's a financial guy. I can't remember his exact title. He owns a hedge fund. So basically what's happening is there's some discussion amongst the board members about privatizing the hospital. If that happens, it could go one of 2 ways. It can make the services at the hospital better and they can have more money, or it could make this environment where the people at the hospital are being controlled by those who have the money. So it can go either way. And Drew and London end up having a one-night stand, kind of, sort of, and he fails to tell her that he is the person who's basically going to determine what happens to her hospital. She didn't know this before they had sex, so it's definitely creating some conflict. She can't stand him, but he has loved her since high school, and she has no idea, but she keeps coming back for more. Apparently it's just that good, and yeah, it's fun so far. I'm really enjoying it. I feel like the push and pull of the characters makes this book so interesting. I was a bit nervous about this being a hospital-based book just because in my brain I think about Grey's Anatomy. Like anything that's hospital related in a book in like a romance setting, it's going to always make me think about Grey's Anatomy, and if I'm not loving it like I love that show, it's gonna be really hard for me to recommend it. So but right now we're doing good, so I'm really enjoying that. I'm on page 102, getting close to the halfway point, which is nice. So now the next book is actually coming out in July if it isn't already out. So the next story that I'm going to read in July, which I probably will get to sometime this weekend, is My Last Summer with Cass. This is a graphic novel, and I have a love for graphic novels because number 1, I love art. I draw myself, so I always appreciate artwork alongside text. But this story follows Cass and Megan, 2 best friends who are like join at the hip their whole lives until they get a little bit older, and Cass moves away to New York. After some time goes by, Megan goes and visits Cass in New York for the first time, and she finds her best friend is very different than how she left. She has a tattoo now, she's a bit more adventurous, she's taking more risks, and simply she just doesn't recognize her best friend anymore. She's not sure what happened, but the 2 of them have one thing that kind of keeps them connected and grounded, and that's their art. They're both artists and they work together. Well, something happens. One of these girls betrays the other in terms of their art, and it just becomes a mess. I'm not sure exactly what happens, but I'm assuming one of them maybe steals an idea or an art piece, or maybe they take the credit altogether. I'm not sure, but there's gonna be some conflict there, but I think it'll be fun. And honestly, I love the art because it's so warm. I'm looking forward to getting into that graphic novel, and if you viewers have any graphic novels that you can recommend to me, please do. I want some graphic novel recs, and it's hard to find them for me. Maybe I'm looking in the wrong places, so let me know if you have any recommendations for me because I will take them. So the next one is one I'm so giddy about. So here's the thing, I need your help on this. I'm trying to decide if I should do a reading vlog for this book, specifically this book only, because I did a reading vlog for the first book back in 2020 or 2021. I don't even remember anymore. It's been so long. I think 2021 actually, and people loved it. The people loved it. So should I do a follow-up vlog for book 2 of Omari and the Night Brothers? So I'm not reading this again because y'all know I don't reread books. I'm not doing that. So with that being said, I will be diving headfirst into Omari and the Great Games very soon. It comes out in August. I'm so stoked for all the Omari fans out there. Y'all know that I'm like her #1 cheerleader, okay? I loved this book so freaking much. So this book follows Omari, whose older brother Quentin has gone missing. No one knows where he's at. The cops are not really trying to find out where he is, and the neighborhood just thinks that it's a lost cause, except for Omari and her family. And Omari and her her brother are like this. It is the cutest freaking relationship. But anyway, Omari receives this very mysterious briefcase outside of her front door one night. And in this briefcase is this invitation to go to the Bureau of Supernatural Affairs. It's a school for magical children, or for lack of better words, a school for children who have special abilities. Omari does not think that she's special, but she goes there anyway. And what we find out is that Omari, there's so much more to her and her power that she unlocks at this school. And there are secrets about magicians and about other creatures and dragons. There's just so much happening in this story. It is exciting, it's adventurous, and it's just so fun. If you can't tell, I'm obsessed with this book. Yeah, so book 2 follows Omari after some events happen at the end of the first book, which I can't tell you because it'll be a spoiler, but it is a continuation of Omari's story and of her brother's story and of her best friend. We have kind of a new conflict and a new group of people that are coming into the story, so there's just a lot to love about this book, this whole series. And if you have not given it a try yet, I urge you to do so. So my whole dilemma was, let me know if you want me to do a vlog for that book specifically, and I will do my best to deliver that. So yeah. Next, I'm not gonna go too far in depth because I obviously talked about this book in my book haul too. Discovery of Witches. This book follows Diana. Diana is a descendant of witches, and essentially she does not want any part of that lifestyle. She's a scholar, so she's currently getting her doctorate degree, or I think she already has it, but she's doing like research at Oxford. So while she's there, she's always gathering manuscripts, trying to find manuscripts for her research, and she stumbles upon this one book called Alchemy. It's like Alchemy 587. I don't remember what the name of the book is. It's Alchemy something. She finds this manuscript. She feels this pull toward this book, and she knows that means that it's probably magical. She doesn't want any parts of it. She is just like, she tries to read the book for research purposes only, but she, of course, when she opens it, she just gets filled with all this magic and she can't help herself. Well, when she opened this book, she opened up kind of a doorway or a portal to all of these other magical creatures, a lot of them being other witches, vampires, ghosts even. A lot of them have arrived in her life. Some of them have threatened her. Some of them have made her very weary, on edge. And then you have Matthew Claremont. He is our Oxford vampire amongst all the other vampires. There is an undeniable connection between the two of them. I mean, let's just be real here. We knew this, right? We knew this. But Matthew is very interested in this book. He has searched for it in her house. Freaking creepy, I know. It was definitely giving Edward Cullen vibes. I can't even lie with the whole breaking into her house thing. Big no-no, but you know. I digress. Anyway, he's pulling an Edward Cullen. He's breaking into her home looking for this book. I'm still very unsure of what his motivation is to acquire this book. So we're gonna keep reading to find out, but honestly, it's definitely giving me all the beautiful description that Dark Academia does so well. It's definitely setting the tone of the atmosphere of this book, and I'm really enjoying it so far. So it makes me want to be scholarly, and that is always a great thing. I'm very stoked for this because one of you actually told me how great this book was. This book takes place in Paris and is following our main character Vincent. She is finally stepping outside of her comfort zone. She's teaching modern art. She has her friends. She's trying to thrive after a very unfortunate situation with her now separated husband. Well, ex-husband, I guess. Cillian, her ex-husband now, is an author, and he writes this book basically just exposing all of their secrets from their marriage, and it does not sit well with Vincent at all. She's upset about it and she feels very betrayed. She is deciding to just thrive in her own life in Paris and do what makes her happiest. Part of doing makes her happiest is doing Loop. Loop is a very young and sexy man that she met in Paris, and she caught his attention, and they now have this very steamy, very hot affair. What's gonna happen is Vincent and Cillian are gonna reconnect in a way because they have a son together and he's getting married. She will see him at the wedding, and Loop, for whatever reason, I'm not sure why, but he's going to cause some trouble between Vincent and Cillian. I think it's going to be very dramatic. I think it'll be sexy. I think it'll be fun. I'm really hoping that the setting is like described in such a beautiful way. I'm gonna feel like I'm there because I've never been there before. So I'm looking forward to this. Okay, so I have one other one that I actually started, and it's called The Edge of Summer. And this book follows Coriander. Her best friend died tragically. She drowned. Her best friend, her name was Elle. Elle and Coriander made this list of things to do, like a bucket list, before they graduated from high school. And now Coriander's doing them all by herself until she meets this one guy, and I forgot his name. Oh, it's Mannix, who I believe will help her embark on this journey that her best friend was supposed to take with her. But it's definitely, I think, gonna be a book about healing and finding love while dealing with loss. So I mean, so far so good. There was one scene that kind of threw me off just a hair, but I'm not gonna judge the book by that one moment. I'm gonna see how the author wrote the rest of this story before I decide, like, in my mind, that I'm gonna DNF it, because it's not going bad. It was just, I won't say it rubbed me the wrong way, but it's noted in my mind, so it's kind of in the back of my brain for future reference if I need it. So yeah, but other than that, that is my July TBR. I have full faith in myself, just because these are books that I've already started for the most part, either am almost finished with or am really interested in. So watch me body this TBR for July, and y'all will be very surprised, okay, when I do my wrap up. You're gonna be so shocked and so proud of me too. Anyway, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see y'all next time, as always. Bye.